And this comes from the experience of someone who was overtraining purposely to reach goals during that specific time. I am crazy. You don't have to do what I did. I already did it. I'm telling you that overtraining is real, but it's way farther out than you think it is. Chances are that your overtraining is very low, but you could be under recovering or overstimulated. Yo fam, it's Trainer Sam. Fitness is my business, and I got the insights to all of your questions. Question today is about overtraining. Yo Sam, I've been hitting the gym hard 6 days a week. 6 days a week, dog. 6 days a week. But no matter what I do, I'm very sore always and very tired. Okay? A lot of people are in that boat. I'm lacking motivation, just don't know what to do. You have any other advice? Do you think I am overtraining? Thanks. This is probably not what you want to hear, but it's what you need to hear. Chances are you are not overtraining. It's more likely that you are under recovering or overstimulated. Now, the reason I say this is because I have a ton of experience with overtraining. Back in 2020, I competed in a powerlifting competition in February and broke my own state records. I was also training for a marathon during that time, so I was doing powerlifting and endurance training. I did that marathon in March of 2020, actually as soon as COVID hit. I was actually supposed to go out and do it in New Mexico, but COVID hit, flights got canceled, so we did it here on the Jersey Shore. It was 26 miles with 40 pounds on your back and 10 miles in the sand. So February, powerlifting competition, broke my own state records. Unofficially, it was a powerlifting competition we did at the gym, but still, I wanted to be stronger than it was previously. March, 26 miles, 40 pounds on the back, 10 miles in the sand. And then June that same year, I ran a 50-mile race. It was my own race. I did it on my birthday. I ran a half-mile loop 100 times. The only thing that happened to me as I came out with it with a torn labrum in my left hip. That sounds bad, but I have Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, which I actually found out after the fact, and that is most likely the cause of that ligament issue. If you don't know, Ehlers-Danlos syndrome is a connective tissue disorder. Basically, my ligaments are way weaker than yours. I'm very stretchy and flexible, and I didn't know any of this until later on when I started having like severe problems, gastrointestinal problems, joint problems, the hip, everything. And they were like, yo, you got this problem. And I'm like, thanks, dog, appreciate it. Anyways, I was overtraining, okay? Not only that, I was working an average of 65 hours a week or more, honestly. I mean, some weeks personal training, some weeks less, some weeks more. I was killing it. We were working early mornings, late at night. I mean, 6 a.m. or 7 a.m. starts and 8 p.m. or 9 p.m. finish back then before COVID hit. And then the schedule completely changed. But I was definitely overtraining in that period of time because there was no way I can get enough sleep or eat enough food throughout the day while I was working that many hours and training that hard. And so my body did break down a little bit. And so I know what overtraining is like. If you are just hitting the weight room, for 45 minutes to even 90 minutes, 6 days a week, chances are, if you're the average person, you are not overtraining. You're just not working hard enough. I know that sounds like I'm putting you down, but I'm not. You were probably working hard enough to get great results aesthetically and for health. But when you're talking about overtraining and just completely breaking down the body, it is hard to do. You have to do a lot of work unless you have some type of like connective tissue disorder or arthritic condition or anything like that where you're gonna have these symptoms more often, right? Like I didn't know what was going on. I always had symptoms. I said, you know what, screw it. It's because I'm overtraining. Turns out it was because I was overtraining and have this stupid genetic disorder. It is what it is. My point for you is you're most likely not overtraining. Again, I don't know your plan right now. You'd have to send it to me. You'd have to send me videos of you working out. Maybe you are just savage and all 90 minutes is 100% to the max, 6 days a week. That's a lot. And if you do that for a long time, 6 months, a year, it's gonna start to wear on you big time. You are most likely under recovering. You're not eating enough calories, you're not getting good enough sleep, you're not staying hydrated throughout the day, or you are way overstimulated. And a lot of times this overstimulation of the brain and body, a nervous system, can cause detrimental effects downstream, right? So if you are just constantly looking at a screen all day, you're looking at a screen before you go to bed, you are constantly filling your ears with noise, with podcasts and music and videos, you're playing a ton of video games. These things are going to keep you wired. If you're consuming a ton of stimulants like caffeine and nicotine, these things are going to keep you wired. You could be overstimulated. You could be burning out your central nervous system. Okay, your sympathetic nervous system could be on fire. Your fight or flight system can be on fire at all times. And we need to bring it down because we do recover and we actually build our body and we get better performance, not from the work we do, not from all that stimulation necessarily, but from the recovery, the adaptation that comes after that, the rest and digest, the parasympathetic nervous system turning on, your body's ability to chill out. Okay, that is what really produces the greatest results going forward. So my recommendation for you is to, number one, lower your training days down to 5 days a week. So you're gonna do weight training, cardio, weight training, cardio, weight training. So Monday, Wednesday, Friday, weight training, Tuesday, Thursday, cardiovascular exercise. And then on the weekends, do your fun activities. You like playing pickleball or basketball or whatever, or bike riding, or just going for a walk, or you can just rest. So cut it down to 5 days a week. Give yourself rest on the weekends. Increase your calorie intake. If you are restricting calories, but you're working that hard, you are going to break down faster, and you're going to experience more fatigue, and you're going to feel more tired if your calories are low. So increase your calories, specifically carbohydrates and protein if you can, because if you are exerting yourself that hard and that much in the gym and you're consuming a low amount of carbohydrates, you're going to feel it. So I was consuming a ton of carbohydrates during that period of time when I was doing the powerlifting and the marathon training at the same time. I got most of my carbohydrates actually from Gatorade powder. I would mix my whey protein and Gatorade powder together, wash it down. When you're a personal trainer on the gym floor, it's hard to eat real food when every hour on the hour you're with somebody one-on-one, 2 feet in front of them. So I would just drink my calories and drink my carbohydrates. That's an easy way to get it in really fast, but obviously whole food is the best. If you can, just increase your carbohydrate intake a little bit. Also, make sure you're staying hydrated, please. Drink a ton of water, and if you are a profusive sweater, then take an electrolyte powder. If you don't sweat that much, you don't really need to take an electrolyte powder every single day, and because you're probably getting enough electrolytes from salting your foods or pre-made foods, just from your food items in general. But if you are a very big sweater, you sweat a lot, throw an electrolyte powder, it'll make you feel a little bit better. Then we're gonna focus on sleep. Try to get better sleep, because again, this comes down to that overstimulation aspect. Not so much that you're overtraining in the gym, you are just overstimulated and under recovering, especially with the brain and the central nervous system. You are on fight or flight probably all the time. So you need to try and regain your circadian rhythm. Focus on your sleep. Try to get to bed around the same time every single night and wake up around the same time every single morning within an hour or so. So 10, 11 p.m., 5 and 6 a.m., or 6 and 7 a.m., whatever your schedule that works best for you is. Force yourself to stick to it for a few weeks until it becomes natural. That sleep is so important for your recovery and to keep you feeling good and to fight off that fatigue and those aches and pains and to increase your performance. So please dial in on that sleep and put the phone down, okay? Again, this comes down to overstimulation. So if you are on screens all day and listening to videos and music and podcasts all day, it's overstimulation. If you find that you can't put your phone down for an hour or even 30 minutes without itching for it, that's an addiction. You have an overstimulation problem. We need to reduce it. It's going to be hard in the beginning, but you need to fight your way through it with willpower until you adjust, until your body adapts, and then it won't be that difficult to leave your phone by the bedside or wherever. So try and check yourself on that overstimulation, especially close to bedtime. Put that phone down an hour before, 30 minutes before, start reading, do deep breathing, journal, read a book, whatever you can to stay away from that phone and distract yourself from that screen, from that overstimulation device. Do it. And then we're gonna focus on reducing the stimulation from caffeine and nicotine. Try not to over-caffeinate yourself, especially when you're feeling fatigued and tired all the time. You end up reaching for that caffeine. I know, I've been there, I love caffeine, but it also is an overstimulation. It stimulates that fight or flight response from your body. It stimulates your sympathetic nervous system, and we're trying to calm that down. So if you can, stop consuming caffeine around midday, around 2 o'clock. That way it doesn't drag into your late night. Now remember, caffeine's got a half-life of around 6 hours, meaning if you drink it at 3 o'clock, you'll still have about 50%, 40% of that caffeine floating around in your body around 9 p.m. That's a lot, right? That's enough to maybe not get you the greatest sleep, which is going to help with your recovery. So we want to make sure we get good sleep for that recovery, so we want to reduce the amount of caffeine we drink earlier in the day. So mostly have it in the morning before you train. If you are having it more later on in the afternoon, reduce the dose, right? You don't need 350 or 200 milligrams of caffeine at 5 o'clock at night. Do 50 milligrams. Remember, half-life, 6 hours later, it's going to be less than if you were to drink 300 milligrams at 5 o'clock at night, right? We're just trying to help that recovery part. Again, the goal is to calm the nervous system down, to get out of a fight or flight response and into a parasympathetic rest and digest response. And we do that by taking down the level of stimulation from excess stimulus like our phones and the TVs and all this Netflix and TikTok and Instagram and what you're watching right now and the podcasts and just having in front of your face 24/7, and the stimulants like caffeine and nicotine, which so many people overconsume. We're trying to reduce that, and we're trying to increase things that are going to help us recover and feel better, which is increasing our calorie intake, increasing the amount of sleep we get, increasing our quality sleep, staying hydrated, and reducing the amount of workouts that we have right now so we can recover and then make adjustments later on. So again, 3 weight training sessions Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 2 cardiovascular sessions Tuesday and Thursday, and on Saturday and Sunday, do whatever the heck you want. This is a good protocol for you. Again, this comes from the experience of someone who was overtraining purposely to reach goals during that specific time. I am crazy. You don't have to do what I did. I already did it. I'm telling you that overtraining is real, but it's way farther out than you think it is. If you're just working out in the gym 6 days a week, chances are that your overtraining is very low, but you could be under recovering or overstimulated. I hope that helps. If you have any other questions, comment them down below and I'll make a video response in return. Train your life, change your life. Peace.